Today we have Robert Decker here with us to speak on behalf of Letters to Transport Canada regarding the future safety of Cougar helicopters. Mr. Decker was on Flight 491 to go to the Hibernian Oil Platform, which is a 90-minute flight from St. John's. That day, he never made it to the rig.
Talking about this brings me back to a day that I'll never forget. It was a horrible thing to go through. You can only imagine how much worse it was for the family.
Yes, seconds later, the chopper fell from the sky into the Atlantic Ocean, killing 17 of the 18 people aboard.
I've never had to use the safety jackets before. This is the first time we had to use them in a flight. The pilot called brakes 3 times. This means the helicopter was going to attempt to land.
Rescuers finally did arrive and pulled you from the ocean. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. For a long time after the crash, you never wanted to go talk to anyone. What has changed since then?
Well, in order to go on with my life, I had to let people know my story.
What else can you tell us about being in the water, waiting to be saved?
I was drifting in and out of consciousness, and I couldn't really see anything.
So, what was the cause of the crash? Remind me.
The titanium studs that hold the oil filter under the gearbox broke mid-flight, and oil drained out of the gearbox. With no gearbox in the copper, we only flew for about 11 minutes before the pilots lost control.
So, what do you want from the government?
We're looking for answers from them to why the helicopter was even certified to fly in the first place.
So you wrote a letter and pointed out that Transport Canada should never have certified that a helicopter that couldn't fly for at least 30 minutes after complete loss of oil.
Yes, that's correct. It shouldn't have been certified after failing the test of the 30-minute run drive time. They accepted a waiver because the chances of this happening were very slim, which means 1 in 10 million hours.
What kind of response did you get when you wrote your letters?
After the first one, there was no response, so I wrote a second in June. Still no response. In November, we finally got a response after writing our third letter.
What was the response?
They didn't really answer any of the questions I was asking. It's shocking that I had to wait such a long time for a response and barely even answered anything that I was concerned about. Although they did agree to replace the titanium studs with steel ones.
Do you believe the crash could have been prevented?
Yes, it was completely preventable. There was lots of time to change the studs when they found out that they had to use steel studs instead.
How much does it mean to you to get the answers that you want?
It would mean a lot. I don't want anyone to have to go through what the families and myself had to go through.
Well, thank you, Mr. Decker.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.